Forget fake Farky, the PC master race itself is under threat. Right, hello everyone, welcome back to the Farky channel. The video that I promised in my last video, it's coming, right, but it's not ready just yet. So today I decided to make a video on some of the false claims of the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. These misconceptions are being believed by people all the time, but today I'm here to debunk them. Before we get started, if you like the content, etc., make sure to drop a like, hit subscribe if you want to see more. Let's get on with the video. Right, so the specs of the new consoles look pretty impressive from first glance. I mean, it's got an AMD Zen 2 based 8-core processor on both the Xbox Series X and the PS5, and this will be more enough for gaming on them. This is going to provide great performance, to be honest. A comparable CPU for a desktop PC would probably be a 3700X, which also has 8 cores and it's a Zen 2 based CPU. However, by the end of the year, there's going to be Zen 3, which is going to be AMD's Ryzen 4000 series CPUs. There's rumours of these CPUs having massive performance gains over the 3rd gen, or Zen 2 as it's called, meaning that the performance of the Xbox Series X and PS5 is going to be good for about a month, and then probably be outclassed again. Now this is a major problem with consoles, as you can't really upgrade a console, which means the specs will become outdated over time, and not like a PC where you can just, for example, the recommended specs for a game that's coming out is higher than the specs of your computer. You can just upgrade your computer. Let's say you need a better graphics card, you can put a better graphics card in there. Let's say you need a better CPU, you put a better CPU in there. You can't really do that with a console, which means that over time it's just going to become outclassed and outmatched by computers, similar to the Xbox One and the PS4. Next up, we're hearing about the incredible graphics performance of these consoles. So the RDNA 2 architecture that AMD is releasing on their big Navi coming out later this year is going to be present on these consoles. Both consoles' GPUs are boasting a massive 16GB of GDDR6 graphical memory, which is even more than RTX 2080 Ti, which is probably the highest end graphics card we've got right now. Excluding the RTX Titan, of course, but that's just ridiculously priced. Now, these graphics cards seem, massive leaps ahead of the price to performance you can get on a PC. We're talking performance better than an RTX 2080 Ti on a console that costs £500, or depending on which country you're in, like $550 or whatever. However, this is probably the PS5 and the Xbox Series X's most fatal flaw: its lack of RAM. Both consoles don't have any dedicated RAM, which means this 16GB of GDDR6 is being shared between the graphics memory, of course, the system memory, and the RAM that's needed to, run the game as well, because games also need the memory to do, other stuff as well as graphics. Now in a conventional PC, you'd usually have, RAM, you have, 8GB, 16 or even 32, but the Xbox Series X and PS5 share this memory, which means yes, there's 16GB of GDDR6, that's a lot of graphical memory, but it will never use that much. My best guess is that it will be about 6GB of GDDR6 that it will be able to use for graphical memory. Now, the Xbox Series X and PS5's GPUs will be able to do ray tracing, which pretty much puts the graphics performance of these consoles on par with an RTX 2060, which isn't a bad graphics card, to be honest, but the claims that it was an RTX 2080 Ti beta is not true. Right, now I'm not saying that these consoles are bad, because they are very good value for money, to be honest. In the end, in probably like a year or 2 years time, eventually building a PC will become much more better value again. But right now, I hate to say it, but the Xbox Series X and the PS5 are both better value than building a computer. But overall, it depends on what you prefer. If you've been used to playing on consoles and you like how it's very much aimed towards gaming and be able to do multiplayer quite easily, but quite a lot of time you do have to pay extra for multiplayer, which is something you do have to do on PC, then sure, get a console. But if you like PC gaming and you like how you pay it one time and then you don't have to pay to do multiplayer or anything like that, and you also want to use it for other stuff. For example, a PC you can do work, or you can, watch YouTube videos and stuff, even though you probably can do that on a console now. And get a PC, because a PC is got the kind of multi-use. A console is very, very much a gaming machine, but a PC can be a gaming machine, an office machine, even a home theatre machine, and in the end, you can use it like that. As I've said, it's PC versus console is very much a opinion-based thing, and it's, yes, there have been false claims by PlayStation and Xbox, but in the end they're both still going to be very good value consoles. £500 for an RTX 2060 and a Ryzen 7 3700X is a good deal today, but in the future it's going to go downhill in actually what the value you're getting for it, as can be seen in the right now, where you can build a console killer. There's lots of videos on YouTube saying, like these, I built a computer which, beats consoles for 200 quid, for example, for much, much cheaper and much, much better value than a PS4 or an Xbox One. Personally, I'm going to be sticking with a computer, because my computer, let's say I want to upgrade it to make it perform similar to a console, I can do that. But for example, let's say I bought a PS5 and, eventually in a few years' time it becomes, slow, much, much less value and performance to a PC, then I can't upgrade that. And I've paid £500 for something that's kind of a one-time use. I can't really use the components again. If I'm still at a computer, let's say, I just upgraded the graphics card, for example, then I can still use my CPU, motherboard and RAM and hard drive and power supply. I wouldn't have to buy all new components. Right, so if you stuck around for this long, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, consider subscribing, because, this channel, hopefully, I think is probably going to be a gaming and tech channel. So if you want to see more of that, make sure to do those like and subscribe. So goodbye for now.